Hey, Discover. Pastor Ben here. Listen, I know that for some of us, we are in what is now close to the 5th day of our fast. And I've been hearing from a lot of different people who have needed some encouragement. They're hangry. They've got headaches, depending on what you're fasting from. Just so you know, I am fasting from social media. I'm fasting from other apps that take up my time. Bread, sugar, dairy, and meat. So basically, I eat trees, which has been fun. So anyways, it's just been an amazing time for me, and I hope it has been for you. I've been doing prayer walks every morning. I've been talking to the Lord. I've been hearing from the Lord. I've been going through that prayer guide. I've been using the tabernacle prayers. We've been doing some of that as a staff, praying over our space as a staff and the ministry that God wants to do here. So it's been an incredible time growing closer to the Lord. And one of the things I want to talk to you about today is this idea of dependence on God. And that's really kind of what I want our focus to be over these next 7 days as we fast together. Before we start praying and having those prayers of intercession for our leaders, for these things, that thing, for healing in our lives, I want us to focus on Jesus first. You know, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, to really bring him up and to really focus on our dependence on him, So I'm going to read you a passage out of Zechariah. It's in chapter 4. I'm going to start in verse 1 here. And what's going on is Zechariah is having a vision from the Lord. And this is part of that vision. And it says in verse 1 of chapter 4, it says, "And the angel who talked with me came again and woke me like a man who is awakened out of his sleep. And he said to me, 'What do you see?' And I said, 'I see, and behold, a lampstand all of gold, with a bowl on the top of it, and 7 lamps on it, with 7 lips of each of the lamps that are on the top of it. And there are 2 olive trees by it, one on the right of the bowl, and the other on its left.'" So you can imagine what's happening here is he sees a lampstand, like candelabra. And on the top of the candelabra that's on fire, there are these bowls that are actually dripping down and feeding these flames. And what is filling those bowls are olive trees, these olive trees that are filling those bowls. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you about this in our church lobby is because we have a fig tree in here. Now, granted, it may be a little crusty right now. It needs to be watered. But we've got a fig tree in our church lobby, and I love this thing. And so you can imagine what's happening is there is a branch from this olive tree filling the bowl. And then from those bowls, there are feeding the flames. It's the whole reason why that candle is actually on fire. And he goes on and says, "And I said to the angel who talked with me, 'What are these, my Lord?' Then the angel who talked with me answered and said to me, 'Do you not know what these are?' I said, 'No, my Lord.' Then he said to me, 'This is the word of the Lord to Zerubbabel,' or 'This is the word of the Lord to Benjamin,' or 'This is the word of the Lord to," insert your name here, "'This is the word of the Lord to Discover Church. Not by my might, nor by power, but by my spirit, says the Lord of hosts." In other words, there's these things happening behind the scenes that we don't even see. So what's happening in Zechariah's dream is he's seeing these candles lit on fire. He doesn't see the very thing that is feeding them is the dependence on God. And that fig tree is our connection to God. And those bowls are our prayer and fasting that are keeping us on fire. It is utter dependence on God. That is the whole point of our 21 days of prayer and fasting. It is not by my might, it is not by our power. So some of you don't know this, some of you do know this, but usually during the third song, before I go out there, I get on my knees backstage. And what I'm doing during that time is I'm talking to God and I'm telling God, "Listen, I don't want to go out there if you don't go with me. I don't want to go if you don't go with me." And there are times, I'm going to be honest, where I come out and I'll be like, "I absolutely crushed that sermon. There's so much prep went into that. That was great. I felt like it was delivered and received well." And then I am reminded that it wasn't me, it was God. I don't write the mail, I'm just the mailman. And so when you come to me after a service, shake my hand and say, "That was a great message," my go-to response is always, "Praise the Lord." It has nothing to do with me. It is utter dependence on God. And some of us don't even see the reason why we survived that last season in our life is utter dependence on God. The reason why we survived, because we wouldn't have had the strength without God coming into our life. And we need to be able to look back and give God credit for those things that we are going through. Another reason why I wanted to do this message here in the lobby is because Nicole's office is right here. Nicole's our church administrator, and her son, Jesse Wilkins, is our resident toddler. And so when you walk in, more often than not, I would say 9 times out of 10, if Jesse sees you, he grabs one of his books and he runs to you with his book in his hand. He reaches up with that book and begins to pat a chair because he wants you to sit down and begin to read with him. And I love that picture. And it reminds me of my own kids. My own kids are older now, but that little thing that just gesture with Jesse, I'll call it that, the gestures with Jesse, they remind me of my own kids. You know, those times where they would say, Dad, I need, and they would reach up. Now, it's been hard breaking them of that when they're teenagers. Dad, can you get me some water? Get your own dang water. But when they're kids and they're like, Dad, I need, man, the answer is always yes. And with Jesse, how can you say no? The answer is always yes. Let's sit down and read about boats and trucks. Let's do this thing. And so our Father, when we reach up, that's why I love to raise my hands during worship. When we reach up, it's our way of saying, Father, I am utterly dependent on you. And our God's answer is always yes. It reminds me of John 15, where Jesus says, I am the vine, you are the branches. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Again, it is our utter dependence on Jesus Christ. And so I hope that you find that encouraging, and I hope that you can continue this 21 days, as hard as it might be, with headaches and all the different things going on, recognizing that you have utter dependence on the Lord. And one thing I want to challenge you to do this week, it might be new for you, but this Sunday when you come to church, I want you to bring a physical Bible. I know that some of us have our iPads and our iPhones. I enjoy when I wake up in the morning and I'm tempted to grab that phone. When I grab it, since I moved all my apps to a folder that I've called fasting, the only thing available is my Bible app, and so I get to read every morning. When we come to church, there's just something different about having a physical Bible. And so I want to challenge you to try that. I want to challenge you to come with a physical Bible. And we're going to be learning again about our dependence on the word of the Lord in the wilderness this weekend. So I'm praying for you in your 21 days of prayer and fasting that you would find that dependence on Jesus. And I'm looking forward to what we're going to be learning about this Sunday. I'll see you there.